So it's important to realize that you always have a patient mindset, or that you're always counteracting your impatience with just knowing that things just take a long time, and it's slower than you think it's ever going to be. But you have to just simply get used to putting in the work without knowing that there is going to be any outcome that comes from it. And you just have to realize it just takes a long time by the time your action actually has any sort of quantifiable outcome that you're going to be satisfied with. So, if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Massek. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. So many people help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. I'm actually going on a walk right now, so I apologize for a little bit of wind. And I just wanted to talk to you. I wanted to sort of get you thinking that things are going to take a lot more longer than you think it's ever going to take. And it's always that way for everything. And it's kind of like one of those weird things. This is the weird phenomenon that happens, is that it takes so long to actually get there. And by the time you actually get there, it's you don't even notice that you're there, if that makes any sense. And it should be that way. It doesn't make any sense for it to be sort of like a stark contrast, right? We have this sort of imaginary view in our mind of what things are going to be like. Maybe it's 30 years or 40 years from now, and you're, you know, some of us are imagining that you were, driving around in a Rolls Royce, um, you know, um, driving a Ferrari or whatever, right? Like that sort of imaginary view, living in, um, I don't know, Acapulco. I guess I don't know where the place people go, but to sort of have this imaginary view in your mind that it's going to be, this sort of breakthrough thing. Um, but really, what you have to imagine is that to get there, it's this very gradual process. If you actually want to live in Acapulco with a Rolls Royce or whatever, it takes enormous amounts of dedication for the most part. The odd person, it's just such a rare event, and it generally happens. Um, there's sort of two ways that ends up happening. Somebody will accumulate a tremendous amount of wealth very quickly. Whether it be a lottery or some weird business thing that happened, whatever, and it happens overnight. The problem is with those folks, the vast majority of them, they have not sort of built it's almost like strength and capabilities or skills to manage that much wealth, and then it disappears. Um, so know that that's going to happen. But the other thing that ends up happening is that it just takes, an enormous amount of time and gradual building up to something that you just don't really even notice it, and it's just part of your life. And then the other thing to realize is that by the time you actually get there, you really don't care about all that kind of stuff. So, that sort of dream of getting a Rolls Royce and living in Acapulco, whatever, it's just not a thing. And you really don't care about all of that kind of stuff by the time you actually get to that moment. And so it's just this gradual build up towards something, whatever that thing is. And the problem is, it's really hard to imagine what that thing is. And so it's kind of ambiguous. But what you have to do is just keep taking one step forward, another step forward, another step forward. And as you're doing that, realize it's just going to take a long time. And when you actually get there, you don't even know you're really there until you're like, oh yeah, I had this kind of like dream or fantasy or whatever that I'd actually get to this moment, and I'm not going to have to worry about things or whatever. But that's the kind of mindset, that's the kind of things that you should be thinking about, is just how gradual things actually happen, and you just have to put in the work. And so that's why it's so important at the moment when you're actually doing it, just enjoy it and enjoy that it's just kind of like this long meandering thing, and make it into something that you're just, it's part of your life. It's the fun thing that you do. It's the, you just get caught up in it rather than thinking about it as like, I got to work as hard as I can at the very moment. Um, and then I'm going to make all this money. It doesn't really necessarily work that way. It's just gradual build, and you have to be okay with this long, gradual build. And because of that, you have to have much more of a different view on actually how to do some of these things. Um, and just know that it's going to be one step and then the other, but then enjoying the walk along the way. I think that's the important lesson with this. So with that, hopefully you got something from it. Take care and have a wonderful day.